Hello WGT players, Clint here again with another fun, exciting video about the WGT. Today we're going to talk about aiming your shots, your drives on a heavy wind, which I consider heavy winds over 20 mile an hour. And you see that a lot on St. Andrews, which I'm here on St. Andrews Hole 2, Chambers Bay, St. George, them fun links courses. So whenever you find yourself stuck in a hurricane, and you're trying to figure out where in the heck do I aim my ball? I don't want to go in the, 50, 60 rough and bunkers and crap. Well, I will show you how to do that. First thing you want to do, if you don't already know it, you need to go find out what the actual club distance is on your driver. And let me tell you that this video is just on drives off the tee. It's not par threes with your irons, or it's just for drives with your tee off the tee box with your driver. Drivers with your tee with your driver, yeah, something like that. Anywho, if you don't know the distance of your actual driver, hitting it flat, I've got a video on that, how to learn your club distances, but in a nutshell, basically go to Kiowa, hole 1, practice mode, keep reloading the round until you get a good wind under 3 mile an hour. Hit 10 shots as close to the ding as you possibly can, and take an average of those 10 shots, and that'll be your average distance of your driver. Hit it flat. And the reason I say hitting it flat is because you want to hit it flat when you're on heavy winds, because ball placement is a lot more important than how far you can hit the ball. And the reason I say that is sometimes you got to play smarter and not be so aggressive, and you actually can play better. Smarter is better. And you want to know the distance also because you don't want to do what I call just a point and click, where you just throw it out there and just go wheel and watch that ball go. Because if you say your ball is going to go, say, I don't know, well, mine goes 320, okay? And I'm just going to put it out there at 320. Well, with this wind, it might knock, I don't know, I'm thinking just out of the top of my head, 10, 15 yards off. Okay, so instead of being 320, I might need to be 315. And the further out you have the marker than what your ball can actually go, means that your ball is going to start arcing to the right with this wind sooner than what it should be. So it might start arcing here, come this way, instead of starting to arc over here, because you're closer. You see, so the further away you go, the sooner your ball is going to start arcing, or going that way, depending on the wind. But anyway, just like anything with golf, you need to know the distance, how far your tee is going to be. Okay, there's some people that think that their every hole is the longest drive contest. It's not. There's Olympic, Marion, those hard courses that nobody likes playing. It's not how far you get the ball. It's where can you land the ball. That's the important part, placement, placement, placement. Sound like a realtor. Anyway, find out what the distance of your driver is first, and then you can do a lot better on these strong winds here. Now on me, my driver, hitting it flat with no wind, goes 320 yards. Okay, so that would be the base that I go off of. Now, to find how far my ball is going to go with this wind, you want to take the actual wind divided by either 70% for tailwind or 55% for headwind, and then plus for tailwind or minus for headwind your actual club length. And that will equal what the distance of the ball should go. So we got 25 mile an hour wind. Always take the middle number, and it's pushing about 50%. Of course, this is sort of a bad example, but it took me 5 tries to get a decent wind, because the other 4 rays had a straight headwind or a straight tailwind. It wasn't no side to side at all. So fifth time on this hole, I took what I got. Anywho, I'll explain what I mean later because 50% is real easy to figure out. So basically, just take 50% of 25 miles per hour, which is of course 12.5, but we'll go ahead and do it here. 25 miles per hour wind going at 50% is 12.5. Okay. And you want this is your actual wind. Okay, because you got 25 miles per hour wind. 50% of that is actually affecting the ball going back and forth vertically, not horizontally, but vertically. So you want a 12.5 is the actual wind. Okay, now you take the actual wind and divide it by, it's a headwind, so you want to divide it by 55%. So 12.5 divided by 55%. Okay, that means that since it's a headwind, it's going to take 22.72 yards off my 320 average driver. So 320 minus 22.72, 297.28. Okay, that means my ball should go around plus or minus 5 yards. Can't control the kicks on these fairways. Around 297. So go, whoop, my head. 298, that'll work. Now on the elevation, good thing about the links is you don't really, unless, I know Chambers Bay's got some where it's pretty good down elevation, but you don't really need to worry about the elevation unless it's, say, 10 feet or more. And probably what you might want to do is, if it's elevation down, if it's, say it's 10 feet down, elevation down, just add 5 yards to whatever this number comes up to be. So say I was 10 feet down, I'd probably add 5 yards to go 302. You know, so, but the elevation is not really, really important unless it's just, you know, double digits and then just half that. That's a pretty good, you know, number to always use. Okay, now I've got the distance that the ball is going to go, 298. And I need to find out side to side. Okay, the aim. So the aim is the actual wind percentage minus 100. Okay, like I said, bad example because we've got 50, so 50 from 100 is 50. Okay, so 25 mile per hour times 50 is 12.5. So you take, that's the actual wind. So you take the 12.5 divided by 5. There we go. So you say, that's not right. Divided by 5 is 2.5. Now, let me get off step off a little bit here. Because like I said, 50% is a really bad number to teach on this. Let's say, for example, that the windsock was facing down here about 90%. Okay, which means 90% affecting my ball back and forth, you know, vertically. Okay, so if it was 90%, that means the horizontal side by side would be 10%. Okay, because the actual wind percentage was 90%. The aim wind would be 90 from 100, which is 10. Okay, so I would take the actual wind, 25 by 10%, multiply by 10%, it's only 2.5 is the actual wind that's affecting it side to side. Okay, so I take that 2.5, that's funny how those are the same, but not for long. Take that 2.5 and divide that by 5, then it comes down to 5. Okay, so whenever you're figuring for your aim, going side to side, you need to take whatever number percentage-wise of where your windsock is, that percentage from 100%. Okay, so if the percentage you was taking for your actual distance of your ball, say it was at 75%, 75% of 25, then the aim actual wind will be 25% of 25 of your actual wind. 25% of your actual wind of 25. Okay? So whenever you're doing your distance, it's the actual percentage that your windsock is at, or your arrow, whatever you call this. I call it the windsock. Okay, that's for your distance of your ball. Now for your aiming, the percentage you go by is whatever your ball distance is minus 100. Okay, because them two together needs to equal 100. Okay, whatever percentage you're using for your actual distance, whatever's left over, from 100 is that percentage for your wind aim. So if you're using 75% for your actual ball carry, 75% of 25, you want to use 25% of 25 for your actual aiming side to side. Okay? Now if you okay, let's go back to where we were here. Okay, I've got the 290. I haven't moved that yet. No, I haven't. Okay, we're doing the wind aim. So let's go back to, it was 12.5 because 25 multiplied by 50 is 12.5. And since I used 50, I'd use 50 again for the aim because 50 and 50 is 100. So 12.5 divided by 5. Okay? That's what this means. The aim is the actual wind. I should put, let me see here, actual wind percentage distance minus 100. There we go. And maybe you can remember that from there. Yeah, okay. Your actual wind percentage, in other words, whatever percentage you used here is this number. I just lost my 100. There it goes. Oh. Sorry, because I need to do this. There we go. Okay, whatever percentage you use here, use that minus 100 is the percentage that you'll use. And then divide that into 20, or multiply that by 25, to get the side to side, and then divide that there. But anyway, for this one here, 50%, it comes up to 12.5, and then you take whatever that number is and divide it by 5, which gives you 2.5. Okay, so that means that you want to find the middle of this fairway, not this part up here, the part that you want to, you're aiming towards, okay? Because this fairway actually goes, of course, there's a bunker there, but you ain't got to worry about that bunker. The fairway actually goes from here, well, I'm about aiming it from here to here. So if you're looking at this fairway, there's the middle of that fairway, but coming down here, it's not the middle of this fairway, because you got all this over here. So I'm thinking, let me get a better look at this here. That looks about the middle. Not really. I think I was right the first time. Yeah, about 298. That's close enough. Okay, now the 2.5 is how far over you want to move this. So now, half of this blue box, this point here, half of this blue box is 1. And so you want to go to the end of the box here and down to the ground. That'll be 1 click and then 2. Okay, That's 2. Now you want to get the 5, the 0.5 or the half. Now, this circle here is about a quarter of this here, of this 1. So you want to do 2 clicks here for the half. Just double click. 1, 2. Okay? That's 2.5. Now, if everything's figured right, I should be able to hit that flat, and I should land somewhere in this area right here. As long as I can hit the ding right. A little early. I should land a little bit further over then. Yeah. Well, but it kicked to the right, so it still ended up being sort of the middle. That's the garden spot. Thank you, sir. Now let me do this flat, and where was I? About right here? I think I was just inside, something like that. I think that's about right there. Pretty close to that. I want to try to hit it a little late, because that would be the big no-no. And I should be still pretty good. A little late. See, took it over a little bit further, but if I would have had full back on that, I'd probably be over here in the garbage. That's why I was talking about earlier. You want to hit it flat, because it's not how far you can hit it, it's where can you have it, you know, location, location, location. That's the important part with heavy winds. Okay, so another thing I've seen this people do this. I'm not really, especially on of course it probably won't be that bad on this course, but something like St. George, we have a bunch of hills and stuff. There's a lot of people that they go ahead and just aim for the middle of the green, don't even worry about that, and they just go full top because it keeps it, you know, well, keeping it early, you know, keeps it out of the air for very long. But the only bad thing with that is, well, see, I was almost in the rough there. You can't really control. I mean, you're going to have a little bit of a roll hitting it flat, but hitting it full top, you're going to have a lot more roll. And on the links courses, especially St. George, it has a bunch of bumps and pimples. You know, you can't really control it just hitting it, you know, flat. So I don't like the full top thing. I don't. So with the flat, I'll hit a little bit more later this time. Well, no. I want to do a really bad miss ding.
Good ball.
Yeah, thank you. I bought it myself. Had no choice. Try one more. Yeah. Well, you see how far off I went, and with this type of wind, see, I am still in the fairway. So it's a pretty good rule of thumb there of what I've got there. And I was, you know, I hate what about right there. So, and I'm still in the fairway. I still got, you know, 6 yards of fairway left. So even hit it, you know, about right there. But I hope that helps you out with aiming off of a tee when you get into heavy winds. Now, I will say, I forgot to say, if this thing is a straight side wind, I mean straight 3 o'clock or straight 9 o'clock, of course, the distance for figuring your ball would pretty much be 0. I mean, it would be 320 will be the distance of the ball. And if this was 25 miles per hour, straight side wind, facing either straight this way or straight that way, the distance of the ball would be 0, so I take nothing off my distance of my club. But the aim, the side to side, would be 100% of 25. Okay? So basically, I just say 25 divided by 5. I have to move that over 5 times. So I'd go, oh, let me go back to, I'd find the middle of the fairway. I'd have to move this over 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then get it back to, what was it, 308? Well, 320 because it's straight. So yeah, I'd be at 320. Find about the middle. After we got time, you should. And I go over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, see, doing that, I got it up to 350. So I'm going to try to move it straight back to where it's 320. Okay? Because it's impossible to click it straight sideways. So once you click it over 5, you want to make sure you're still at where you need to be. Okay? Because if I was up here at 350, it'd be probably, well, with this wind, it probably wouldn't be that bad. But you want to make sure after you click it over that you're back to the yards you need to be at. Okay, so if this was straight side-to-side wind, 25 miles per hour, it'd be 0 off my drive distance and 100% because you got to take whatever the distance of your percentage you use for your distance of the ball, minus 100. So we use 0 for the distance of the ball. So when you use all of it for the side-to-side aim, which would be 100, 25 miles per hour wind, so 25 divided by 5 is 5, so it goes over 5. Okay? That's on a straight side-to-side wind. Okie dokie. All right, well, I really appreciate you taking time and watching my video. If you have any questions or concerns, just ask below and I shall answer. And have a good day.